Today I want to open up a file in Python and read in the data. I also want to introduce the accumulator pattern. We'll make our file have a bunch of temperatures in there. We want to get the average and we want to count how many measurements there are. So we'll use the string split function, and I'm also going to use decimal formats in strings to print out the significant digits that we feel is appropriate for our experiment. I'm going to start out by creating a file. Let's go to our project folder. I'm going to right click. I'm going to hit new file, and then I'll make this file say temps.txt. There we go. And we're going to put some data readings in here. Let's say this is an old data logger or something, output from a data logger. It says 55.0, 51.3, and 62.7, maybe one more, right? How about 44.6? So this is the text file output, maybe some old piece of machinery, and we're just going to do one line. All right, so we'll go up to our Python main, there we go, and we're going to open that file, read in the values. All right, let's go ahead and get a file reference. I'll say file_ref, open, and then I need my file name here. So I will use a ./temps.txt because this is on the same level. So the dot is the same level. This is relative path. ... you go up a level. You could chase things around. You could also use the whole path, but notice that I'm using a / and these are backslashes. So you'll have to be careful of that. Switch out your backslashes with /. And there's a few other ways of doing that too. But just so that you're aware, if you paste it in just like that, it's not going to work. Oh, and we have to indicate that it's going to be read. Now we want to get our data from our file. We got a file reference. Let's get temps, and it's going to be a string. I'm going to read the whole thing in. I'm going to say FileRef.read. And then we can print it out just so we see what we got. Temps with an S. And we'll close our file reference. There we go. Now let's play it. Sweet, we got our temperatures, right? But it's a string. We need to split it up so we can do averages and do our accumulator pattern. Splitting up temps into a list is going to be pretty easy. We're going to need a variable. How about temp list? Right? And that's going to have a list of our temperatures. We're going to get the temperature string, the temps string, and then we're going to split it. That's pretty good. And we're going to split it on let's just do a single comma. And then let's print out our temp list to see what we have. There we go. Let's hit the run button. All right, cool. So now it's in list format. Notice we do have some spaces in here. We don't have to remove that though. It's not going to mess up when we convert to float because it's just white space. All right, let's get our for loop through those temperatures. Let's say for temp in temp list colon. We're going to need a total and we're going to need a count. I got to go up a little bit. Let's get a total. Make that 0. I'll make a count, make that 0. Now when we get down here, we're going to total by doing a plus equals, and that's actually shorthand for total equals total plus our new number, which is going to be a float, converting our temp to a float. And then we got to get our count. So we could do the count plus 1, or we could do the shorthand that I just showed you a couple minutes ago or a couple seconds ago, plus equals, and then you can get rid of that count, right? So that plus equals saves a little bit of code. We can do that here too, get rid of this. Same thing. All right, cool. Now we need to print stuff out. Ooh, we need to get the average too, right? That's the whole point. Average equals total / or divide by count. Now let's print out our results. I'll do a print statement here. Print, and we'll say average temp is open and close curly brackets degrees from measurements. All right, and now we need to format this, right? So we'll do our format. We're going to put our average here, and then we'll put our count there. Let's run this. Hit the run. And it worked out to be 1 decimal point. Let's go ahead and change our temps so that we have something a little goofier, right? So that we don't have such a neat number right here, so we can work on our formatting. Let's go back to our main.py, and I'll show you how to do formats. So you're going to do a colon in here, a dot, and this is the number of decimal places you want for your float. And now you have 2 decimal places right there. Nice. And if you want 1, you can just do 1. And you might be thinking, hey, what do I put in front of this, because that colon there looks like something should be there? Well, that's the placeholder for your argument, right? So if you have average, that's going to be a 0 by default. And then if you have count right here, that's going to be a 1 by default. And you could swap these, right? Like if you had count right here and average right here, you just switch your 1 and your 0, and you would have what you wanted. There you go. All right, so I will see you in the next video. I know that was not in depth on reading files, but it'll get you started.